Howdy friends, it's your old pal Shred, welcoming you back to another episode of Frogger World. In this episode, we're going to take a look at our power problem that we ran into at the end of the last episode, and we definitely got to look into, see, we're power yellow, bad. We got to look into the iron ore issue we have. I don't like these trees here. First off, I already have a offshore pump, and we're going to build our new power station here. I'm going to run it out this way. We're going to drop down some underground belt just so I can run through here if I need to. And I think I made 10. We're going to need 14 altogether. So 11, 12, 13, 14. And we'll just use these straight pipes as placers. And we'll fill this in when we go tear down our old electricity build. And 1, 2, 3. I like leaving enough space here just so I can run belts. And it looks like we don't have enough room to run 10 steam engines in a straight line all the way back. So we're going to run 2 lanes of 5. Get this lined up. Do that. And we'll finish this off when we tear down the old power setup. And voila. Now, we are going to use these burner inserters again, and we're going to run coal down this way, run it up that way, bring it over from here, go ahead and split it off. And soon enough, we should see the coal making its way down here. And as the coal shows up, you'll notice that the burner inserters, they feed themselves first, and then they'll start feeding the boilers. Power is running. And let's go tear down our old power build. All right, very good. That's torn down. We'll go ahead and just place these miners right here. And there we go. So 50% of our coal is going to head south. 50% keeps heading to the west. And we can lay down, where are they? There they are. 2, 3 for a total of 10. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And then we'll just lay down the rest of the boilers. And there we go. The remainder of the burner inserters put in. So the ratio we're looking for here is one offshore pump pumps 60 units of water per second. And so the steam engines use, oh, there we go. Let's go ahead and do lab research speed. So anyway, so these steam engines use 6 units of water per second. So if we're getting in 60, you divide that by 6, 10 steam engines. Now, what happens here is that it takes 13.8 or 13.08, something like that, boilers to heat up the water to 100 degrees. And if we hover our cursor over the pipe, we can see that the temperature of the water is at 100 degrees. We can go all the way down and see the temperature of the water in each one of these is at 100 degrees. Now for me, I'm using 14 of these boilers because I rather overdrive and ensure, instead of being 0.08 short, why not be 0.92 over? Especially when you consider the cost of these boilers, right? The cost of a boiler is 1 stone furnace and 1 iron pipe. 1 stone furnace is 5 stone, 1 pipe is 1 iron plate. So for 1 extra iron plate and 5 stone, I'm gonna err on the side of making sure my water is at 100 degrees. That being said, I've used 13. I can't say that I noticed any big difference, but 13, 14, 13, and you save 5 stone and 1 iron plate. 14, it costs you 1 iron plate, 5 stone. Never having to worry about it again. Priceless. Anyway, So this should last us a good while. And if we click on any of the power poles, we see that our satisfaction is at 100% and our production is maybe at about a third. 1/4 to a third. So this is good when we see production with a little bit of black here. That means we have, like I said, about 2/3 of the way to go until we're maxed out on what we can produce in terms of power. So that looks good. Now, next thing, let's go ahead and take a look at our iron ore. As we can see, it's not very good, and I don't have any miners on me, which reminds me, we can add miners to the back end of the build we made in the last episode, because miners just need like green circuits, iron gear wheels, iron plate. Perfect. Because we got gears, green circuits, iron plate. Place that down. Perfect. Not even close. Place down more belts, and then we'll get a long-handed inserter. Place this down, and one stack will do good. You see, we ain't getting nothing in terms of iron down here. So I'm just gonna rob this, do all the robbing, and make a bunch of electric mining drills. All right, I figured this is as good of a spot as any. We can start here. We will start placing down our miners, a little bit of power. I like making sure my poles line up on both sides. We will drop some lights so I can see what's going on. Ah, well, that's a lot better. Lay down some more on this side, make sure we get it all. And you know what? I'm just going to just tee these into here. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's a temporary thing anyway. I mean, eventually this is going to run out of iron. And this is going to not be here at all. So typically I don't spend a whole lot of time worrying about how my mining setups look. All right, so it appears like we have plenty of iron ore, still very light on iron plate. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I don't know if I got this set up exactly how I'd like it, but I'm going to take out the belt here, and I'll show you why in a second. We're going to replace this with underground belts, and actually I'm going to get rid of these furnaces and do it like this. And the reason we're going to do this is that the underground belts prioritize the placing of items by the inserters. So what that enables us to do is to get a nice compact belt of iron ore. So basically the underground belts, because they prioritize the inserters, they allow it to like squeeze in those extra pieces of iron plate, and that way we get a nice compacted full belt of iron. And apparently it takes 48 furnaces to fill up a yellow belt. I don't know. I can never remember that stuff. You know how I know how many furnaces it takes? You know what? I don't like this. I'm going to tear this up. Never be afraid to tear up your builds. You don't lose any points. You don't lose any materials by tearing your old stuff up and rebuilding it. I just assume everything I build at some point is going to get torn up. Can I fit? Maybe I can. There. Look at that. All my problems just vanished. And I am once again a happy shred. Anyway, let's go ahead. Like I was saying, apparently it takes 48 furnaces in order to fill a yellow belt. I can never remember that stuff, so I remember how many furnaces it takes when I keep placing down furnaces and the yellow belt is full. That's how I know. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I don't know. That seems way too long to me. But we'll go with it. If it's too many, we'll just tear some out. We can just place a regular belt right there. And there we go. Beautiful. Run some power. Next, inserters. And now we'll run the belt up all the way. And then all we have to do is, because the way I place these down, we just got to reverse. Hit the R key and it turns around, gets your underground belts going in the right direction. Alrighty, so we gave this some time to run. It looks like the iron ore is kind of making it up all the way. Maybe. But we can see all our inserters working. So come over here and we can check this out and we can see, well, maybe it's not fully compacted. So I'm going to take this opportunity to run the iron from that northern patch as well. So we'll actually let this run, and well, what's going to happen is this is going to start backing up and these are going to stop running, and then more and more iron is going to make its way to the top. So we're going to have to wait to see how well this works. Yeah, whatever. Again, in the bigger scheme of things, these furnaces are what? What were they, 5 stone? We got bigger fish to fry. But the good news is we got a full belt coming down, filling this up, making all the things. Now, I made some extra, handcrafted some extra labs, because I don't like the way this looks. And actually, I didn't like the way, I thought there's probably a better way, since we're doing it like this. Actually, I could have left those in there. I don't like all these power poles, how it was set up. Don't like that. So we're going to have 6 on each side. Go like this. Go like that. And then, there. That looks better. And then we can just run power poles like this. See, doesn't that make your brain feel better? It makes mine feel better. And now we should really start cooking on getting our science done. So one thing I'm noticing, even though we got all this iron, now we're kind of shaky on gears. Well, what we could do is that if we look at this, and if we hover over the gear here, we're seeing it's taken a long time for the iron plate to get in there. Let's go ahead and double up the number of inserters, if that helps any. Better, but it's still almost always red. Let's go ahead and drop in another one on each. It's not going to look great for the power, but... And there we go. Science is rocking and rolling. Let's get some bullet damage, because it's going to be a thing. Now let's take a look. It's okay. It's not great. Do we have fast inserters? Let's make some fast inserters and see if that helps. Because technically, 3 of these should be the same. The yellow inserters are a third. They have a third of the quickness of a fast inserter. So let's go ahead. We're going to get rid of these. Get rid of that ugliness. Just plop in. So essentially, dropping in 2 fast inserters is like having 6 yellow inserters. Let's take a look now. Well, see, now the problem is getting rid of the gears fast enough. Yep, gotta make some more. Now let's take a look. Here we can see that the iron plate never turns red. It always has enough iron plate to keep it fed. And the fast inserters can offload the finished gears fast enough so there's no backup. Let's go ahead and do the same thing here. Now we see the problem is green circuits. And that's how Factorio works. You think you got one thing under control, and here you go, you need something to fix something else. Unfortunately, I didn't leave a space here last time. And that really sucks. I need a space here. I ain't moving all this stuff. What I'm gonna do is take a second, tear this up, and give myself a little move, basically my green circuits, 1 space over to the right. So I will be right back. Alrighty, So that's all cleaned up. That's how that's supposed to look. This is supposed to be copper cable 3 to green circuits 2. And what I'm going to do here, because you usually run into the same problem with these copper cables that you run into here. You just can't get them in fast enough. And we just need to extend. And let's go ahead and take a look now. Well, this guy's turned into that. And then we'll hover over this. And we can see the problem is not getting the copper plate in there quick enough. Here, let's move some stuff around, so it looks happier. And let's take another look. And it looks like it's not that it's not getting enough copper plate. It has too much copper cable. Let's take a look here. It looks like everything here could be sped up a little bit. And let's see how we're doing. Copper cable could still be better. Okay, thank you. How about we do this? So let's go take a look over here. And it seems like we still get backed up. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put 2 blues. So a total of 3 blues altogether. So what we're going to have 2 pulling from this guy, 2 pulling from the center, 2 pulling from this top one. But from the middle one, it's split. We just got to make sure we get our power hooked up. Power poles everywhere. Now let's take another look. We're definitely feeding the cables fast enough. Perfect. We're getting enough copper plate in there. Perfect. Let's take a look at this. Enough copper cables being fed. Enough iron plates being fed. We're pulling out the green circuits fast enough. This is working at as efficient as it could. The only thing we're missing, the light bulb. So now all that's left to do is to set this one up so we're running just as efficient. There we go. We have to move around some of these, some of this, some of this. Tear this up, and there we go. Now our green circuits all taken care of. Everything's running essentially as fast as it could. Now let's take a look over here. Looks like we could be doing a little bit better on inserters. Let's take a look. But it looks like we're running into a problem where we don't have enough iron plate or we don't have enough green circuits. Let's see if we can fix this. We'll do it with both of these. See how this works. And it looks like we still run into a situation where we might not be moving as fast as we could. We might have a problem here getting, yeah, we can't get, just for now, until we get the medium power poles. It looks horrible, but we'll do this. Now let's take a look. Now the problem is gear wheels. We will go ahead, upgrade these to the fast inserters. And there. None of the writing next to the symbols there turns red. Stays nice and white. We're pulling them out quick enough. Great. Rest of this stuff, not so important if it works as fast as it could. This seems to not be having a problem. And there. Fixed the problem. Now we got plenty of inserters on the belt. And we can go along and do the same thing with all these. And now we can take a look at this. Is this running as fast as it could? Yeah, everything is staying white. No problem keeping up. So we don't need to put the fast inserters on here. Works wonderfully. So far so good. We're pretty optimized. We can really start ripping through this research. As a matter of fact, we're doing so well. I think I want to build some more labs, just so we can get ahead of the 8 ball, if you will. So apparently I screwed up I looked up here and I was like, lab research speed 3. It's not moving. Hit T. Oh, we need blue science. We don't have that yet. So let's work on bullet damage. 'Cause that's just, all we have is red and green science. They just got to make sure we're sticking with that. Anyway, so we got more labs. Come on, fit in there. Good. Don't have to do trees. So now that should really start cooking. So there's one last thing I want to do before we end this episode. I want to get some piercing armor going. Go like this. Bring that up. Put that like that. Like I said, a little bit of piercing armor. Keep us nice and safe. Because the piercing armor, again, is a real nice upgrade in damage. There we go. Place those down. We'll just set a chest. Hook up some power. There. Run the copper up. Clear that out. I'll actually use fast inserters here. I mean, technically it has a insert copper and steel. If you look at it, all we're waiting on here is just the crafting time. And perhaps you wouldn't even need fast inserters there, but that's fine. Definitely want piercing ammo if there's a run-in. Alrighty. So, that being said, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to keep up to date on all this Factorio goodness. So, until next time, peace out. Be good. See ya. Cut. Redo. Dang it.